Hey, what is up? See if I get a few people in here. Anybody in here? Hello, anyone? Nope. Nope. There it is. What's up, dude? Alright. Cool. I got Tony going to house. Okay. It's weird. It doesn't say anybody. I don't see anybody on the little view thing. But that is cool. Close that. Close that. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna get it going. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the stream. Let me know, first of all, as always, how are the levels? Hey, what's up? There you go. There's some folks. What's up? What's up, guys? Let me know how the levels are on the music. If it is too loud, if it is too bright, if I don't know. If I'm not entertaining enough, it's all good. Let me know what's up. And today I'm going to continue my Black Panther. I also, when I have a few folks in here, I have a little something to show you. I finished my 3D print, my very first 3D print of a fan piece I did of Zion Williamson. So let's get to level seem good. Good. Yeah, no, it's Mike T, not Pablo. So yeah, this is kind of what I stopped on last time. I've been working on the anatomy a little bit and kind of getting him into the position and good stuff like that. So I'm just going to keep on chugging along on the anatomy, just tightening up things, fixing proportions, detailing. Thank you. Yeah, Stark Industries, son. So yeah, that's cheers. That's what we're doing today, everybody. If you have any questions about anything, let me know. So this piece is going to be for my Wacom tour next month in South America. So I'm super excited about that. And so let's, without any more words, let's get it started. Let's get into it, y'all. Speak Russian? I do not yet. That's it. That's all I speak. Ninja Turtles with Black Panther. And my neighbors are off the hook, y'all. So if you hear babies or African folks or teenagers screaming and laughing at the top of their lungs, that's what they do. Kids kicking balls into the wall. That's just the everyday. You know, it's a Wednesday. That's how we get down. All right. So the image on the right here of him just in a static pose is just a little screenshot I did just because I thought it was a cool angle. And what I'm going to be doing is continuing the anatomy like I said earlier. So I have my Pure Ref board with plenty of Black Panther images. I got some Peter Parker over here just for inspiration on the pose, right? Because basically they have a a similar agility. Oh, there's that ball on the wall. I love them. I love those guys. I'll be leaving soon. I can't wait. I'm getting out of here because I hate them, actually. Don't be negative, but I don't like them. All right, there's that. I have this one here. This is Pure Ref, if anybody wants to know. P-U-R-R-E-F. You can post a ton of pictures on here and use them for reference. I've been using them for reference for anatomy, right, as always. One of these people is my son. I'm not going to tell you which one. Maybe you guess. It's not the white guy. Just kidding. It is. It's the white guy. All right. So let's go. Let's do this thing. I have another one over here. Plenty of reference today. I just need to find a place for it all. Remnants of the MCU, Spider-Man. Word. Okay. So basically the legs are where I stopped off. So The upper body, I'm kind of happy with the volumes. The lower body, not so much. I still need to tweak it. So let's, without further ado, get into that. Maybe stop talking so much, Mike. All right, so I'm just going to turn off the little preview icon, and then that way I can see the just the regular white here. And if you guys have any questions about anything, let me know. I'm going to move this. Running out of real estate. I'm going to move this here, I think. Okay. Blender 2.8. No, I haven't tried it yet. I have a lot of friends that are Blender people. I have one friend that actually is a developer that does box cutter and what's the other one? Box cutter and other things like that. So it's real good. He's very good. Sorry, just the only channel on ZBrush that explains what to do. I thought that there were people who speak Russian. Yeah, sorry, I don't. But, you know, Google Translate for the win. Probably help you out. Alright. So what I'm going to do, if you guys don't know, is I like aspects from the movie, but I also like the comic version of him, like the Mark Texiera version. So what I'm going to kind of do is do a mashup of those, where the suit doesn't necessarily have as many hard surface panels, but the mask feels a little more like the movie. So 6 on one hand, half dozen on the other. Also, I think the pieces that go around his neck are going to be more like claws or teeth or something than the really kind of high-techy ones from the film. I like that look a lot, so I'm going to do that as well. Okay, but now while I have folks in here, still it's weird. It says 0 on the view thing. I don't know what's up with that. But what I'll do is I'll show you this thing that I just finished. So I did a sculpt, a little personal sculpt. I'll open it up and show it to you of Zion Williamson, basketball player. And so let's clear that. Load. Just bear with me 1 second, you guys. I should have had this queued up beforehand. Let's see, put this over here. Zion. ZBrush. And here it is. So let me turn off the boolean and turn off some of this stuff here. Just 1 second, guys. I should have done all this beforehand. Okay. So that, and turn on everything, and turn off this and this and this. It's all cut and keyed. So if I turn off the boolean, yeah, you can see these are parts that I use to make the cuts. So I'm gonna cut those off as well. Cut that off. And so this is still not all of it. Almost. Let's see the light here. Tool, and there's a piece of the swoosh that is missing. I'll just turn on the swoosh. All right. And turn off this piece. Turn off this. Okay. All right. So here's my sculpt, right? Little fan piece. I just wanted to do something that, you know, wasn't superheroes, and I thought that no, I'm not going to the ZBrush Summit, man. Not this year. I will one day if ZBrush asks me to go, but right now, no. ZBrush VR. Yeah, okay, so here is the sculpt. You can see the detail, right? I just want to show you the detail before I show you the print, because the print was done with a filament printer, and it kept a lot of the detail, right? Like a lot of the detail. So just pay attention to the wood grain and all that. And okay, so now, all right, stop talking about that. Let's move this out of the way, and let's switch the camera to full screen. 50 screen. Okay. Wow, I'm huge. Okay. Let me show you the print to the view here. So here's the print. All right, got it on a little Lazy Susan. Come on, baby, get in there. Okay, there it is. All right, so if it focuses, you can see that it kept a lot of that detail, like the wood, basketball, the shoes, all that. So, anyway, I have always wanted to, it's still a little chalky, and I still need to do like one last pass with a high grit sandpaper to get rid of some of the shine from the primer. But yeah, look, like all that detail is there. Even if we look at the hair, like the Z, it's still in his head. It's crazy. It's crazy the detail on this thing. So this is the Creality Ender 5, and I got this because I saw Grassetti, his Yoshimitsu, and his Nova, and I was just like, wow, that's crazy. So the barrier entry was low. It was like 350 for the printer. There it is right there, by the way. Right? And my cat is hidden. And a cat is right there. There's a cat. So yeah, anyway, printer was cheap, filament's cheap. The print is crazy. So that's it. Buy one, and you can turn your ZBrush stuff into physical, real things. Let me get this screen thing back to normal. Transform, paste. Okay, cool. Black Panther. Let's get it on. Back here. The name of the printer, I'll type it. How many pieces? So I'll show you. Basically, if I can get this thing to explode, let's see, explode, and then pan out, turn off dynamic. So you can see the arms are their own thing, the hand. I ended up not needing the support for the other foot. Like all of the weight is supported on just this piece of the shoe that goes into the swoosh, right? That holds up everything because the PLA is so light. But yeah, so, and the base was really big, so I had to cut it into 2 pieces. The swoosh had to be cut into 2 pieces. Anyway, that's the deal. Alright, yeah, Grassetti did it. Raphael Grassetti did the Yoshimitsu and the Nova. Alright, cool. So, back to the Black Panther. That's not right. This is the right one. And the resolution on this is still low, you know what I mean? Like I'm getting my details in there, but it's still, this body, yeah, it's only subdivided up to 212,000 points. So it's good because I can jump down like I always do and move things around to get the proportions and volumes right, and then I can jump back up again. So what I'll do is get my refs straight here. I'm using a bunch of different stuff. This is the pose I was kind of going for, right? It's actually that one and another one, so it's kind of a mix of a few. But I love those hands, so I'm going to get on those hands like early in the stream. In fact, let's just zoom in on the hand. And then I have this one, which I'll keep over here because I ran out of room. And move that over. Okay, so if I'm looking at that screen, it's because I have reference on the screen. All right, let's see. 200 million billion points. That's the way I used to do it. All right, so. Oh, you know what? I moved his leg over earlier and I kind of didn't mask it right. So let's smooth this out. And this is one of those stages where I'm happy because I have the basic anatomy in and it's close, you know what I mean? But I can go in and noodle it until it's right. So if you see things that you don't like and you're an anatomy Nazi, please don't get me. I'm not done yet. It is not done. If you guys have any questions about anything, please hit me up. I might get a little quiet because when I sculpt, I tend to think, and I can't chew and walk bubble gum. You know that old saying from the sea? I can't do that at the same time. Can't do that at the same time. But I will stop and look at your questions and answer them if you have any questions about anything. Okay, I have RGB on. I don't want to have it on. So right now what I'm doing is kind of just getting I'm not worried about the suit. I know that there are things that I'm showing that you won't see once they're covered with clothing, and there's parts that, you know, like musculature and stuff that just doesn't show up through the suit, but I don't care. I'd rather have that there from the jump because it's easier to take it away than it is to add it after the fact. And I think when I left off last time, I had just come out of Transpose Master, so there were some wonky parts in here that got wobbly when I did the posing. So this is all just going in and fixing it. Hey man, thank you. Me? Thanks. What's up, Craig Kelly? Doing pretty well. How you doing? Actually doing really well. It's been dicey for a little while this week, but got better at the end. And it's only the middle. So you guys roll that around your head. That was deep, what I just said. And I'm about to move, so it's going to get even better. I don't know if I mentioned, but not a fan of my neighbors. Asking her the matters. All right. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. Just looking at reference. Not that one. Let's look at this one. Each one of these boards has like a billion pictures, so. Bear with me. I need a back. Put a back at. Actually, let's check out these feet real quick. So I think what I did is I kind of messed with the size of this one. I just want to make sure it's close on the other side. Oh, that kid. So what I'm probably going to end up doing on these is putting like a Nike type of a sole on the bottom of it, and then keep the top like almost like a, you know, the way the shoes look now, the neoprene upper. So it'll be super flexible. Family's doing well. Thank you. Doing well. What is up? The Don Zero. So on an earlier version I had of this, I had marked out kind of what I wanted to do with the detailing on the suit. So at some point I'm going to circle back to that, because I think what I'll do, there's one of these pieces that it was like an early Ryan Meiderling, I always butcher his name, sorry Ryan if you ever do see this. This one, Meinerding. I love how he has the piping here that looks like it's either beadwork or almost like a really thick stitch. So I want to do something like that. Yeah, the images that are static there are just screenshots, so I can see that's the other foot. So I just want to make sure that the proportions are similar. Also the portions. Kind of bouncing back between that and the reference. So anybody that might be new to ZBrush, you know, a rookie mistake that I used to make, and I think it's pretty common, is seeing these amazing sculptures on, you know, ZBrush Central and ArtStation and everything, and they have so much detail, and you want to go in and do that, so you subdivide your model up to some really high level, and then you find that when you're trying to sculpt, it's like really soft taffy. You know what I mean? So you can't get clean edges, everything is really kind of wobbly. So one way to get around that is to keep the mesh as low as you can for as long as you can. So if you see I have this is my sub D level at the bottom, right? I can go in and make a lot of these changes at this low level, and it will translate. So when I step up, it's still there, but it's clean. There's no need for this foot to be, like right now I think it is, if we're looking at just the foot, right, this is 17,000 points. It's low. There's no reason this foot should be like a million points. But I definitely have done that in the past, so it's just a little pro tip. Be patient, grasshopper. When you need the detail, you just divide it. Okay, so that's not bad. I like what's going on here with this exaggerated, this kind of exaggerated piece here. I just want to rotate this just a little bit, get those toes bent a little. Let's see what it looks like. I don't care what the bottom of the foot looks like, I'm more concerned with the top, so I just have to make sure my pivot point is in a good spot. Oops. Maybe not the twist. Best way to pose the mesh, least destructive forms. Better start with a pose and then start sculpting. All right, so I got most of my anatomy in an A pose, so it was in symmetry, and then I went and did. If you look at my last stream, I did it probably not the way that I should have done it. Like I did it, I posed him using the. Let me use the water. Sorry. I posed him using the Gizmo 3D with the layer stack. So if I go to the Gizmo 3D like that, and I turn him on like that, let's get rid of this stuff. And I turn off the, or rather turn on everything else. So, you know, I have him selected, right? So if I pose him now, it's just him. But if I turn on the stack and I move it, now it's everything. So what I was doing is I was masking and doing it that way. And, you know, I could have done it that way. It probably would have been easier just to use Transpose Master. As far as destruct, you know, keeping it non-destructive, what I would say is to keep your lower subdivision levels. So if you're going into subtool, into Transpose Master with this level of subdivision, right? It's only 13,000 for the whole body, and you go and you move his arm, and it's, you know, you get the warping in the pec. There's not that many polys to move, right? So it's okay. It doesn't look as bad. If you take him in there and you have like 1 million polys, 2 million polys, not only is that going to stress your machine out, but it's also going to come out looking really, really like I was describing it before, like warped and taffy like. And then you got to sculpt all the details back. So that's what I would say. People are going to tell you can make. I mean, there's the thing about ZBrush. You can do things 1,000 ways. So you could, you know, you could make a polysphere or like a Z-sphere rig, and rig him in here and use that. Bind it to the mesh, or you could take the mesh into another application like Maya or Blender or whatever, and put a rig inside of it and pose him there. I have a lot of friends that do that because they want to animate, or they want to do more than one pose, and you're not stuck with like when I'm done with this, my pose is set. Like I can tweak it, but it's pretty much set. if you make a rig, then that's not the case. So, plenty of ways to do it. Plenty of ways. So many ways, you guys. And I know it, and you know it, and everybody knows it. Alright, I don't like this song. I'm gonna skip this song. Bye, son. There you go. Alright, so when I think Black Panther, I think of those hands. So let's get to the hands. Those fingers. I want to do the claws. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a actual, just going to make a claw that I can duplicate. But I love this like gnarl. That's going to look so dope in the print. So I got to get that right. Also, so you know, just so you know, I'm an older guy. So if there's any young folks in here, back when I was your age, dope was, I guess, your lit. So, just a little translation. I got kids. I know what the hip young kids say. Alright, I did notice that like I got this part of the thumb way over too far. It's like crazy. Shouldn't be doing that. So let's fix it. Yeah, this is crazy. So the concept artists for the movies are just really ill. And I know it's Ryan and like he's the head, but there's some other guys that whose name escapes me right now. But I love concept art. I'm first and foremost I'm an illustrator. If you saw that turtle on my screen, that's mine. So I grew up drawing and painting and doing comic books. So ZBrush was kind of the next step in my art evolution, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I think what I'll do with this, because the hands are so similar, what I can do is I can do one, chop it off, take it over to the other hand, do a Boolean union, and then ZRemesh, which is kind of what I did before. If you know what I'm saying. I love the exaggerated, like planar changes on here. This is cool. In fact, what am I doing? Let's use the H polish and get those in. Hello. Are you doing any texturing today? I don't think so. I want to put the cart before the horse. I mean, if anything, I'll be figuring out, like in Photoshop maybe, what I want to do. But yeah, not yet. Not yet. So I leave the second week of September to go to, I think it starts in Mexico. But I need to have this guy done because what I'll be doing is talking to the students over there and demoing this. So what I'll do, I'll just save stages of it. Yeah, already I like that better. H polish is dope, everybody. It's a great brush. One of my favorite brushes. In fact, so when I'm painting, I like to keep some of my construction lines in, so my pencils. I'll keep that in the painting, the final paint. And it's just something that's there, it pokes through in some spots, and you know, if you really stare at it, you notice. Most people don't see it, but I know it's there. And I do the same thing with with these nice plane shifts. Like I like having parts of my organic model that still have like a plainer aspect to it in some spots. Just makes it feel a little more rich to me. Do you make them emotes? What you talking about, Willis? What emotes? Yeah, I want it to look like really gnarled. Looks like Black Panther's having a stroke, but the coolest stroke of all time. That's not funny. I'll take that back. I instantly regretted that. I wish I didn't say that. Not funny. I go too far sometime, you guys. It's quiet. What's going on in here? Where's everybody? Usually I can't get you to shut up. Kidding. You gotta say something, or else I'm gonna think that nobody's here, and I'll be lonely. I went and took my son to that new scary movie. I think it's called Scary Stories After Dark or something, at night or whatever. And what's cool is, like, that's a thing that we kind of have in common, is liking scary movies. And we both were really not super thrilled with that. Thought it was going to be better. So I guess the next thing to hold out for is It Chapter 2. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that's good. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Baby screaming next time. It's crazy. See, if you guys were talking to me, I wouldn't hear it. Be completely oblivious to screaming babies and all that good stuff. Biggest fan. Thank you. You did. Thank you. That's a lot of watching right there. Thank you so much. I'm glad you came. So there's a good chance if anybody goes to Comic-Con, I got this thing that I'm kind of working on with Wacom where I might be at the next few Comic-Cons. I've never been to San Francisco. We didn't have it done in time for that this year, but I think I'll be going next year. And New York, I think, is a lock. So if you're in the area and you want to stop by and say what's up, I'll probably have stuff there to sign if you want it. Be doing a demo, and I was there last time I was in New York. I had Danny Williams come by, who was the amazing point pusher. He's one of the best guys I know, and we had a good time. Just did some demoing, hung out, went and had some lunch. It's a really good time. I like meeting people. I am a a fan of as well. So on this trip that I have coming up in Argentina, I'm going to get to meet Daniel Bell. He's one of my all-time favorites, sculptors of all time. Did I say all time twice? Because it is. It's true. You know, so love to meet Rossetti one day. And yeah, so I talk to guys, and it's nice to meet them in person because everybody is cool that I've met that does this. Shane Olsen, dope dude too. Very cool fella. Hello. That's a lot of highs. What's going on? How you doing? Biggest inspirations. The guys I just mentioned is one. That's big. I kind of am one of those people who finds inspiration all around me. So it could be Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix. You know, I'm not a hard surface guy, but I thought that was fantastic. Or The Matrix. Or, you know, A Beautiful Sunny Day. You know, beauty's where you find it, man. Yeah, no. I have a lot of really talented friends in the industry, so I get to talk to them and see what they're doing and go to ArtStation and get bombarded by just amazing images. So many that they just rotate super fast and you can miss them if you blink. Same with ZBC. ZBrush Central has a lot of great stuff. It's just so much good artwork. San Diego. Yeah, next year. Totally. Definitely coming. I don't know if I can. I'll wait to tell you what we got going on, but it's really cool. It's actually very cool. So look forward to it. Never been to San Diego Comic-Con. And I'm one of those guys that when I'm done doing my thing, I would just people watch. Look at the cosplayers and stuff like that. Go to the booths and look at things that I shouldn't be buying, but might buy. Draw an angle on a flat surface. I'm drawing on an angle. So, yep. I should have probably warned you before I did that. That's pretty jarring, I'm sure. It's not the best. Yeah, no, I totally get that. I went to, back when I worked with a company called Echo, I was a big video game fan. I'm still a big video game fan. Don't have as much time to play anymore, but I talked them into going to E3, and we went to E3 a couple years. And I don't normally get kind of, you know, this and around crowds, but so many people, I was like, this is too many people. I got that way at like Artist Alley in New York Comic Con. It's a lot of people in a small space, you know. If there's a fire, you're donezo. But fortunately, there's been no fires. I gotta go to San Diego Comic Con just because I've never gone, you know. That's one of those things I just gotta cross off the bucket list. And maybe this time I'll remember to bring my art books and have them signed, because I forgot them the last time I went to New York. One of my big influences in illustration is Alex Ross, so I wouldn't mind meeting him. With many, many others. that feels a little more like it. Let's see the other hand. What we started with here. Are spread though. Forearm is a little thin too, I think. So let's address that, shall we? The thing about Black Panther is I don't want him to be really diesel. Like, I don't want him super thick. But at the same time, I mean, he's basically Captain America, right? He's got the same super soldier type of serum. It just comes from the, you know, the root. So, he is strong. He's like really strong. Alright, let's cut in some stuff here. This is where it gets a little dicey. You gotta bear with me here. This part I usually have to refer to a model. Alright, I'm not this comes on the camera. I have an Anatomy Tools model, and I always get confused at this bundle of muscles that kind of comes from the tricep down to the elbow. It's very specific. So, if you don't mind, I'm gonna look at some reference right about now. Just kind of cut some of these areas in. See, already it's wrong. I know there's cats out there who just have this stuff memorized, but I do not. As long as I get there at some point, I don't care. I mess it up and have to do it several times. It's cool. Slow and steady wins the race. That's what we say in my hood. Came up hearing that from the OGs. Alright, there's that. How do you print screen? You make the hand copies. It's just it is Command Shift, right? Is that it, or Control Shift? Wait a minute. Alt Shift. Sorry. Nope. Alt. See, now you made me forget. Alt. What is it? Shift S. Shift S. Sorry. Shift S makes the copies. And then you can clear them by, I just did it, Shift S makes a copy, and you clear it by Alt-N, or what is in our Mac? Option-N on Mac. What is your favorite TV show of all time and why? Oh man, that's a deep one. All time favorite TV show. I'm gonna have to think about that one. I watch a lot of TV. I've seen every show of all time. So that's a tough one. But I'll think about it. Works are amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. You are too kind. Another reason that I like to work low like this is smoothing is a lot easier. Like I can have my, so I got one of these rolling things that you buy at Office Max. It's on top of my rug. It's like an office rolling mat. And unfortunately the handles, I'm telling you a whole lot of information, but you're gonna listen to me because you're a captive audience. My arms on the chair don't go down far enough for me to scoot the chair under the table, so I'm always in the same place, and I have put little divots so it's hard to move the chair. That's all. I just thought I'd tell you that. You're welcome. Oh, smoothing. Yeah, no, if it was a higher resolution, it would be way, I'd have to go over parts way more to get them to smooth out. It's a little big, maybe. I mean, he's a superhero, so. This is one of those things where I will noodle around with the volumes on the muscles a lot, but it always is worth it. Like, so worth it. So worth it, you guys. What do I want? So I had a friend that drew me a picture the other day. It blew my mind because I've never had anybody draw a picture for me. They're usually asking me to draw pictures for them. And it was really nice. Maybe just a little bit of this. This is all going to get covered up anyway. He's got gloves on. But if I work it right, you'll be able to see that under the suit. And it adds to the realism. Same way, you know, I'm painting a superhero. I want it to feel like a guy in a suit. Like, full stop. If I make it look like a guy in a suit, then I've done what I'm supposed to do. So the muscles matter. Alright, let's see what we got going here. I'm getting to the point with his back that I need to subdivide again. I just don't have the geometry to support what I'm trying to do. Especially for like the the love handles and stuff, it's getting really hard to keep the form when I smooth. Another thing I'll do, especially with this guy, is like seriously move the camera around a lot. I'll also move the lighting around, and I will definitely turn on dynamic. Turn it on, turn it off. I don't like to leave it on because I don't know, sometimes I need for it to be a just kind of a really flat perspective, just to make sure everything works out. But then turning it on helps too, because that's how your eye works. Let's turn on this color too. So let's see. And you can see now I need to move some of these parts because I've changed the volumes. Definitely like, let's move this out of the way. It's a whole lot of back and forth until you get it right, but I definitely like the feel of this hand now. Might be a little small. Yeah, let's see what it looks like if I make it a lot. Again, I don't know if that's perspective or not, maybe not. Nah, maybe it's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's move the light around. See what we're looking at. He's great because you can, I mean, it's almost just a silhouette, and it's way easier to see what you've done right and wrong when it's a silhouette. So let's change it to a different shader. Too much stuff on the screen. Don't mind, then there you go. That's what I want. And tool, let's turn off. Let's turn off this. There you go. Putting it into this type of a shader helps me immensely because I can see the forms. Like there's no question whether I got it right or wrong, you know. And I can easily say, okay, well now this arm feels a little too big, so I can go in and tweak it. Right, and I have my perspective off, so I know that what I'm seeing is what I'm actually getting. Okay, so let's go back. That. Turn back on the stuff. Put the light in a decent spot. And I can continue with my hand. Let's just take the whole arm here. Yeah. Thanks, Ryan. All right, so one thing I definitely want to do is also figure out these claws, so let's do that real quick. I'm going to, let's just take, this is how I normally do things. So I know that I don't have think I don't have. Yeah, I have dynamic subdivision on these parts of him that are the detailing, so they don't have subdivision levels. So what I can do is I can duplicate this. Right now I have a copy of that of these parts, and I'm going to change them into a sphere, Q sphere. Okay. I'm also going to get rid of. I thought I had. I think I assigned a material and a color. I just want to fill it with a flat shade so that it will be whatever I have selected, right? Which this is fine. Okay, so I can go back to my oops. See, go back to my guy. Turn off that. Turn off the rock. It's the rock, baby. All right. And now I can start to make this into fingernails. I make so much out of these primitives, like the Q cube and Q sphere, the cylinder. I use them all the time. Like that's my thing. Just using the pinch. And all I really care about is the top of this piece, right? I'm going to get rid of the bottom, and I'm going to extrude it. So I don't care what's happening down here. This is not a concern of mine. I can select it easily by going to my ZModeler and hovering over a plane and then switching it to poly group by poly loop, right? And then I can poly group it, so that gives me that whole piece there. And I can, okay, I have that piece, and I can delete hidden. And now what happens is I have these two separate pieces. I can go and auto group them. Right, so now the blue piece is the piece I don't want, so I can hide it, and I can delete it. Okay, so now all I'm left with is this top, which is all I wanted. Now I can shape this until I get something that looks like I want, and then extrude it, and I have my fingernail. And this is the same way I did Thanos' helmet and armor on my Thanos sculpt, and I use this technique for everything, really. Big fan of the ZModeler. Alright, so now what I can do is I can extrude this. Right? Actually, I'll cube mesh it. Poly group all. Give it some thickness, right? Now we're cooking with grease. So when I put on dynamic, because I don't have any holding edges and no creasing, it's going to soften up. Right? It's going to get super soft. But that's okay, because what I like to do is go and just insert a couple of holding lines, right? And then it starts to look a little more hard surface. And if I know I want this part to be really hard up here, what I could do is I could crease it, but it will give me, like it's going to give me, and maybe I want it, you know, let's see what it looks like. Let's go to crease, edge, loop, complete, just click. Now that just went all the way around this thing. So if I go and turn on dynamic, now it looks like this, which is not bad, not too bad. So let's see what this looks like on the hand, and what I can do is I can, you know, I can address the shape of it and the placement, all that good stuff. It's also a little easier to see what you're doing when you have it not in dynamic. Alright, so let's turn back on our hand. And let's see what we can do here. Scale and position it. And I'm not really worried about if it's a perfect fit yet. I just kind of want to get it in place and then duplicate and move on to the next one, because what will happen is I can do the tweaking later. And I guess because I work this out on the one hand, when I copy this hand, I'll also bring those fingernails with it. So that's that. Now if I go and hold down Alt and drag it, it makes a copy. So I can just keep doing this for all the fingers. I can do this all day. I just watched Endgame again last night, and that scene where the Cap from the different timelines are fighting each other, I thought that was hilarious when he said that. It's like, I know, man. So obviously these things are gonna have to be sized, but it's cool. I just get them close and keep it moving. It's my motto. See if anything else is going on here. Did I miss anything? Thanks, man. Are those sections different color groups to avoid overlap? No. Right now I'm playing it fast and loose with this because I don't have a lot of time. Normally I would do all that. I can polygroup it now, but I just sketched it out. You know, it's just sketched out, the fingers. I usually get very technical in the early stages, and I want to make sure that all of my edge loops and everything are really good looking, and then I saw Daniel Bell, and he's not concerned with topology. Like, he's sculpting, man. He's just doing it. I saw him doing John Wick, and it was very cool. It was just like some freeform sculpting, and of course his stuff comes out looking amazing. So it's like, why am I killing myself? I'm not going to animate it, you know? I don't care. At the end, all I care about is a good print. close enough. Whoa, I got really quiet there. Sorry you guys. Let's see. Dude, I love this episode, but remember to link the stream in your Facebook post. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's my bad. Tony Leonard. You're right, man. Sorry. Wait a minute, you're a streamer. You know where the link is. Tony Leonard, also a streamer with ZBrush Live. Pixelogic streamer in the house. Hey Mike, how's it hanging? What's up, man? Cryptic Geo. What are your thoughts on Sony and Marvel? Oh, come on. I was in a really good place till you brought that up. I read that. I'm not happy about that at all. We finally got the best Spider-Man of all time, and now Sony decides they want to get greedy. Just work with the Feiges, man. Just you know, they know what they're doing. Don't be greedy. Alright, so there's that. Now I got my fingernails, right? And what I can do is I can, they're right now the same poly group. I can hit auto groups. I've bound that to my UI because I use it all the time. And I can also hit dynamic, right? Now we're starting to get there. Now he's looking like a panther. Actually looking like Sabretooth up in here. So let's turn him on. Let's give him some color. Turn back on that. And the ground. And let's see what it looks like here. And perspective. Try to get in a crazy pose. Or angle. Move this out of the way. That'll do, pig. So I think that works for now, right? Not mad at it. While I have it like this, I believe, I think I wanna make a clone of him, flip him, sorry. Oh, my spit guard fell down. Oh my gosh, if I've been popping my T's and P's, I apologize for that. So, I want to make a clone of him, flip him, chop off his hand, put it on the other hand, Frankenstein them together. Let's do that. How am I doing on time? 2:13? It's not bad. Oh yeah, maybe save. That's a good idea. I haven't saved at all. Not once. Save it. Save as. Black Panther. Alright, now that's in the way. Come over here. Feige can't work on any Spider-Man stuff because X-Men is every 3 years. Yeah. So Sony, did they do Homecoming and Far From Home on their own? Or was that with... Was that... Uh-oh. What's that? Don't do that. Are you guys still in here? I hope. What's happening? Okay, I just lost Restream. If you guys can still hear me... Okay, we're here. Good. Okay. I lost all of that stuff, but it's okay. Yeah, did Marvel have anything to do with Homecoming and Far From Home? Because if Sony did that on their own, then okay. You know, that was good. Alright, I don't think that's on either. Bye, son. Let's make a copy of this. Feige was a producer. Well, there you go. There you go. There you go. I don't trust him, man. Next thing you know, Tom Holland is going to have his hair slicked back and be doing some emo crazy dance, and it's just gonna, the wheels are gonna fall off the bus. I don't trust him. Duplicate. So I'm going to clone this, right? And I'm gonna copy the fingers. Copy, and I'm going to paste them on the clone. Paste. Paste. All right. Okay. So that is cool. Now for the hand, let's do this. Turn off dynamic, turn on solo, go to geometry, not geometry, sorry, go to subtool and turn off the color. Okay. And what I want to do now is I just want to flip him. So let's see if I can flip him and keep the sub D levels. I don't think I can, but let's try it. I'm going to use the plugin Subtool Master. Subtool Master plugin. Mirror. Mirror. Where is it? There it is. Mirror. X-axis, yes. Let's see if it does it. Okay. Okay, did it. And hopefully, let's auto group this. I don't want this one. So let's delete hidden. I gotta go down to the lowest sub D level. Down, delete hidden. Okay. And now for the fingernails, I'm going to, all right, let's see. Pretty sure Marvel did, well, I read that. Marvel did the majority of the work, yes. Marvel did it pretty much. What if they gave it to the Spider-Verse? Oh, now we're talking. But wait, the Spider-Verse team was Marvel, right? Was that Sony? That was Sony, then okay. We can do that. That would be dope. Hello, Alex. Sony profited from the solo movies only. Money from the Avengers. They got them. I know. I guarantee you they'd make more money if they just let Marvel handle it. In my opinion. Okay, so these, I think I can just mirror them. Oh, did they put them in some weird space? No, that's right. Okay, cool. So I just want everything on this side, basically. And then I can step back up. No, not this one, no. This. So I can step back up. I still have my detail. And I can hide the things I don't want, right? I don't want that. I can go down low. That, and actually let me hide one more loop. Delete hidden, and then step up. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I don't want that either. Undo. Okay, delete that. Delete hidden. What is wrong with Restream? Okay, I don't know what that is. I think it's fine, really, if you think about it. Disney just pay Spider-Man back when he is needed. Spider-Man's relevant. Yeah, I guess we don't need him in the team films. But I mean, isn't he an Avenger now? The new Avengers? Can I please stop the music? No, can't stop it. Is it loud? I'll turn it down. Is it too loud, you guys? Let me know. Definitely turn it down. How dare you, Alex? Do you think His lays need more of a V. His lays. What are you talking about, Tony? Lats. His lats. Yeah, no. I'm gonna get to the back, Tone. I just haven't done it yet. Awkward if they can't say Spider-Man. Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. You mean like the whole mutants thing? There's this arachnoid person swinging around New York. Selling the rights back. They'll never sell. They will never sell Spider-Man. I wish they would. That would be great, but they're not going to do it. Alright, delete hidden. Okay, good. So, now I have my hand. I have a delivery. I think it's Nike's. The music's been getting louder. Okay, let's turn it down. Let's get it on the desktop volume too. Let me know if that helps. Oh yeah, alright, my bad. Turn it down. Alex, I apologize. Let's see what you're hearing. That is loud. Alright, how's that? Let me know if that's better. Louder. Louder! Night Monkey. Music's legit. Music's good though. Good, good. Alright. Music's off the table. So now I got my hand. Right? This is my hand I'm going to replace the other one with. So I can grab my body, copy, come over to my hand, paste. It's going to be in a really wrong place, but that's okay. Okay. There's that. I'm going to gonna mask him. Alright, so now he's masked. The hand and the nails are not masked. So I'll select them. I'll go to my gizmo, center it, and I will turn on the layers. There's like, I like to call them the pizza boxes. Right, and I can move the hand in position with the nails. So let's get this right. Oops, not that. Just rotating it until I get it close. In fact, let's do this. I don't need to see anything other than his hand. So, makes it a little easier. Yeah, and if it does that thing with the music again where it turns it up, just let me know. I just hate the sound of my voice, so I could not listen to 3 hours of me talking. That's just me. Just saying, keeping it real with you guys. Okay, so the fingers don't have to line up. I just want the kind of want in the right position, basically. I can always twist it once I have it kind of merged together. Okay, so it's not bad. Let's see if I want it to twist. I kind of do. So let's do this. Mask that part of the hand. Because it's low, it's fine. I can rotate and not have to worry about too much destruction. Utter destruction and chaos. think that's right. Yeah, so later on today, I believe Ashley is on. We usually have the same day. That's my stream partner, and anybody that's seen her work knows that she's legit. So if you have time, watch her. Okay. The more I think about it, the more I kind of want it in the same position. So that's close. I think that's good enough. So low. Yeah, that's good. Alright. So now what I can do is go back to my dude, hide, unhide, and I can just hide the hand. That. Okay, I'm going to make a copy of him because what's going to happen when I merge this together is I'm going to lose detail. I don't have a whole lot of detail going on right now, but I'm going to lose. It's going to get soft. So I'm going to duplicate him, turn off one of the dupes, and let's solo him. Step down. There you go. Step on down. Step on down, y'all. Oops, dynamic is on. I don't want that on. Step down to the bottom and let's hide that. I want a clean loop, basically. Okay, like that. And then actually I'm going to shrink that a little bit. Okay, I want his forearm, I don't want his hand. All right, so that's what I have. Now I can turn off. I am on this one. I can turn off this and just see that that is pretty good. Just want these to kind of match up a little better. It's just going to make it easier when I go in and do the boolean and smooth. I won't have to worry about edges quite so much. If you know what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Alright. That's better. Alright, cool. So that'll work. Not concerned with the nails. They're in the right place, so I don't have to worry about them. The hand is in the right place. I have this on the lowest sub D level so I can delete higher, right? But before I do, I've changed the mesh, so I want to delete this one. Yes, delete. I want to duplicate this one. Let's take it back up, duplicate, just make sure I have all my detail, which I do. All right, go back to this one, step down to the lowest sub D level. And the hand is hidden, right? So I can just delete it now, delete hidden. Okay, and I could tell it's smoothed out a little bit. So if I step back up, you can see that. That's what it looks like now. That's what it used to look like. It's not a major deal, but it did change. Good trick, always use transpose mesh. But it's slow. It is a little bit slow, a little bit. All right. So now I have the part that I want there. I have the hand that I want here. I'm going to close the, if I can, it's got subdivision levels, so it may not let me. But I'm going to close the holes if it'll let me. Nah, it's got subdivision levels. That's okay. That's okay. All right, so what I'll do now is duplicate this. I think, just so I have it, and step up to the highest sub D level. Step up to the highest sub D level on this one, which it is. Let's turn on the two of them, which looks good. Just don't want, because the holes aren't closed, the end caps aren't closed, I don't want I don't want it to be poking out, because then I'll have a hole that I have to worry about filling. All right, so that's good. Now I can do a Boolean of this. Right, so I can go back over here, turn on live Boolean. Those are both, they're both, there's not a negative Boolean, so they're gonna do a, they'll just union, right? So if I go down under Boolean and hit make mesh, it'll do it, which it did. That was fast. Here it is. All right, so this is all one thing now. You can see where the polygroups are different, but it's okay, really. So at this point, what I like to do is save, right? Probably be a good idea to save. Sip some water. Now if I group them in one polygroup, duplicate, and do a Z remesh under geometry, hopefully I should be good. So let's try it at same. I always turn up my adaptive size and my curve strength a little bit, and then I also hit detect edges. And let's see what we get. Just Z remesh. See what happens. Okay. So that looks pretty clean. It looks like it kept a lot of my detail, and it looks like the loops are in places that make sense, right? The muscles are kind of retaining the edge flow, which is what I'm concerned with, because when I go in and I really define those muscles, I want the flow of the geometry to work with it. Now the only thing about this is I don't have lower sub-D levels anymore. I'm stuck at 151, which isn't high, but I like to have it lower than that. So I'm going to turn off same. I like what I have here, and I'm going to say that I want the I want the polygon count to be 5, I think. See what this does. And let's try it again, Z remesh, see what happens. So remember that count, it's 151 now. It should take it down to probably around 20,000 points, maybe. If I nail this, everybody in here owes me a Coke, so just saying. What's the count? Oh, it's close. I didn't go over 17. It's close. All right, cool. So now we're talking, right? Low geo, everything follows the flow. Look around his pecs. Look at the arms. Back is good. Everything, the legs, they all are. They're making sense. The edge flow of this is really important to me, and it retained everything. So I'm really happy with that, and it's super low. So now what I can do is I can go back to my subtool. I can turn on my other one. Okay, you see it there? That's the one that retained the detail. But I'm going to solo it out, so I have just this one, and I can step up. Sorry, not step up, because I don't have subdivision levels. I can divide a couple times, so I'll divide, and then I'll project. I usually, every time I do a divide, I do a project. And because I have on this one with all the detail, right, I can project the details back onto the lower subdivision level. And I kept these numbers kind of from Paul Gabriel's settings. I just have 0.2, turn the blur down to 0, distance 0.2. I leave the mean as it is, and I hit project, and it starts to get the detail, right? So that is at 69,000, so now I'm going to divide again. Now we're at 278, and project the detail. Okay, now it should be identical to the other one, which it is, and the count is really close too. So I'm good. Now my hand is part of the mesh now, right? And I have really good topology and edge flow. Oops, I'm on the wrong one. Yeah. So there's my mesh. I can step down and start blending this into the arm. Just do a little blur where those transition to each other. Oops. The back. And I usually like to go down to a low subdivision level. Come on, I don't know what's up with Restream. Let me know if you guys are still in here, if I have to reload it again. And then if I step up, I just smooth a little more, and by the time I get to the top, it's done. And I don't lose any detail. Alright, so that's cool. I have identical hands. I have all the detail. I don't have to do all of that shaping on the other hand. It's already there. And I have, so let's call this, I'm going to rename this Good VP Body. I'm going to copy this guy, come back over here and paste, paste. Okay. One thing I don't think I have is the color, which I don't, which is fine. So go to this one and just grab whatever that color was. And I don't need this anymore either, so I'm going to delete it. Don't crash. Don't crash. Okay, cool. And then I can fill the one I just put in here with this color. I only want the color, not the material. So color, fill, boom, there's that. I can go grab those nails that I liked. You know the ones. And I can rename them nails, copy, come back over here, go to these nails, paste, okay. Turn off dynamic on that one, and I want to merge these down with the other nails. I know my screen is super far away, but if I hit merge down, they don't have subdivision levels, so I should be able to do this. Just hit merge down. Yes, it's okay. Alright, now I got both my nails. I can turn on dynamic. I got my body, I got my hands. I'm golden. I kept my subdivision levels. You can step down. It's all good. It's a good day. It's a good day. Step back up. Alright. So now for him, if I want to, I can subdivide him and I can really start detailing. Which I'm almost to that point. I think Tony had a good point. The back needs to be addressed. The legs are still soft, but you know, I'm getting there. So let's take a look at the back. At this point, I'm happy, so I'm going to save. And Tony's one of my good friends. I actually talk to him every day, so he knows I'll just keep going hard on this until I'm happy with the anatomy. Because that's what I do. Let's see. Really good, thank you. Reprojection time. What you mean, Mike? What you talking about, brother? Oh, I did keep the one that has the. I went in and drew kind of what I wanted to do with his suit. So this is what I started with. If anybody wants to know, this guy used to be the super average man, I think, and I went through and did a little gang sign to his hands and got the general kind of muscle mass that I wanted at the time, and then I posed him. But this is what I'm concerned with right now, is the pattern that I have, because I do want to incorporate that back into him at some point. That was from when you reproject the details. I was just getting hype. Okay, no worries. All right, let's go back down to this. Turn off this. Let's revisit this back a little bit. don't think I have anywhere it's like a dude bending over. All the backs are pretty straight up and down. But I did have the lats pulled out pretty far before. I want to be careful with him. I don't want him to feel. I don't want him to feel like this is too heavy, right? So this is more the. I mean, a little bigger than this, right? This is kind of skinny, but that's kind of the physique that I'm going for. Maybe like this. And you just barely kind of see his lats from behind him. So I don't want to be too wingy. Wingy. Hashtag, I made that up myself. But I do have some kind of weird mushing going in on the side here. We can just sculpt that up. Also, let's get the light in the right place. And this really is my favorite part. Like, this is super relaxing. I love doing this at night before I go to bed because something about solving this, you know, Rubik's Cube of insertion points and muscles and, you know, bony masses and stuff, like that's fun to me. I had a weird childhood, you guys. Alright, but I do need to see him back. That would help. Oh, here you go. Let's go with this dude. He's huge. But the pose is similar. And really all I need is this. Tools is turn off. Let's name these things for one thing. What do you call these? I'm going to call it, I'm going to rename these details. Details, suit detail. Suit accents. How about that? And this rename. I think that's that little thing in the front. I'll call it, I don't know, necklace. Turn that off, turn that off. These are the eyeballs. Rename. Eyes. Oh no, that's the thing. Alright, I don't know what that thing is. And this is the rock. Base. Turn off the base. Come back up to him. There you go. Now we're cooking. The mask can stay on. It's not really in my way. Oh, actually, yeah, it is. Turn that off. And when I do this, I love to move the camera, not the camera, sorry, the light around. It really helps. It's very easy to get something that looks really good under the right light or in the right angle, and then you move and you're like, oh no, that's wrong. I paint the same way. If I'm painting traditionally or draw, I rotate my canvas around, and the same thing digitally on my screen. This Wacom I have rotates, so I can rotate around it, or actually just rotate the page in the application if I want. It's always good to get a fresh perspective. All right, it's 2:45. I started at 1. I do this every time. It's 1 to 4, right? 3 hours? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I tell you I'm a math magician. what is your reference viewer? It is PureRef, PureRef. PureRef. Oh wait, okay, I'm missing stuff. How will you get the pattern back onto the pose mesh? I won't. What I'll do is just use that for reference, and I'll use my curved tube strap to draw them in. I find it's a lot easier to do that than to pose it after I put the those accents on, because what happens is it gets really kinked up and it turns into a mess. And I'm not really trying to inherit a mess. Okay. Alrighty then. And this is another thing where I'll switch back and forth with the H polish tool to get some of these plane changes right. It's easier to do this than to, you know, noodle it in. You can just really quickly get the right forms. And I want to make sure, like, what's really important is keeping that curvature of his back. Like, I really want him to feel like he's a predator about to pounce. Pounce, I think is how you say it. So his back really needs to feel like he's bent over and he's about to go hard on whoever stumbled into the wrong place. No worries, TK. All right, and again, I have my trusty. I have plenty of statues, and I love to use them. So, if you have, I think this was $350. If you have $350 to spend, this is one of the best investments I've ever gotten. It's the Anatomy Tools statue by Andrew Kars, who is hands down one of the best, like, anatomy sculptors ever, to me, right? And probably in the world, in the universe of all time. Best ever. Oh, let me look outside my door just to make sure that my my kicks aren't outside and somebody took them. Hold on, I'm gonna turn off this camera for 1 second. 1 second. Be right back. Just do it. All right. Got my shoes. I got my shoes. Turn that back on. I don't even remember what I got. I think I got a pair of Air Force One lows and maybe some KDs. Not sure. Ronnie Coleman. Oh yeah. Good call. Yeah. Exactly who it is. There's a lot of reference to him. That guy's crazy. Or he was. Before he destroyed his body. Another thing I have is anatomy books, which are really good. This one, I've talked about it before in old streams. This is one of my favorite books of all time, because it has the muscles, but they're in the poses. So now what I can do is I can find somebody who's doing maybe like a lat pull, and I can see the detail, right? And when they're bent over, I can see how there's compression going on and how you know, the stretching and stuff. So this is invaluable to me right here. This book is crazy in a good way. So let me find a back right quick. Or like a row or something. Sorry guys, bear with me a second. 1 second, please. Yeah, it's not bad. All right. So I always have like a lot of reference around me. Each one of these boards, like I said, I wasn't kidding, has so many pictures on it. Better to have too much than too little. So that's what I do. And you only get better if you're not trying to figure it out in your head. You know, at some point, what I have noticed is that I can, you know, get it pretty far along the way without having to lean into the reference too much. And then I just go in and correct things that are close but wrong. And if I was to post it on 10,000 hours, people would be like, yo, you screwed that up. So I'm not trying to get called out. As I say that, there's like 1 million people on YouTube who are going to chop this piece up. Don't do it. Don't do it, please. Don't be that guy. And the other thing too, if you're new to sculpting or new to ZBrush, it's very easy to look at the écrochet models and, you know, base your musculature off of them. But you have to remember that you have fat on top of, you know, on top of muscle, and you have skin on top of that. So it's really keeping that balance that looks more like these photos. If you're going for a super heavy mass, or, you know, if it's a skinnier guy, then you know, obviously less fat, but you'll get something that looks a little more real. Like this dude he's got a stack back here. Over here. And if anybody is new to the stream and they live in Peru or Argentina, Mexico, Colombia, I'm going to be out your way. Check out the Wacom Academy. They have the schedule, and I would love for you to come by and meet you. Just put it in Wacom Academy. Yeah, come check me out, see what's up. That's the second week of September. I'll be there for 2 weeks, like traveling around. All right. Hey, Mike, I miss your stream. Thanks, man. Cool. Trapjaw. Let's go in the detailed version. That's the hard stuff. Okay, wait. Does your retopologized mesh have less volume? than the detailed version. I think they're the same. I mean, I projected it back. It might not be, but it's okay, because I mean, none of this stuff is set in stone anyway. I just keep noodling away at it until I'm happy. There's nothing that I couldn't afford to lose, let's put it that way. Not using Dynamax. Alright, take it easy. Anybody that knows me knows I am not a Dynamesh person. Oh, you're in Brazil? Okay, Marco. My two rocks. I do. I rock hard. Hello, everyone from Zambia. Zambia, wow. I'm global, y'all. What's up, everybody? Taking to meet you. Guadalajara. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Definitely tell me you check me out here, right? And I will shout you out the next time I do a stream. Please do. That's love. That's nice. Trying to help someone in the chat with projecting error having. Oh, okay. Yeah, so as much as I really like the costume design at Marvel, I think with my guy I want to have more of the the muscles showing and less, you know, hard surfacey panel loop type stuff. So that's why I'm going with this decision. Black Panther to me should feel like really sleek. I think I'm pretty sure Daniel Bell did a version that looked like the comic version. That's just, to me, that's the Black Panther I really like. Not knocking Marvel Cinematic Universe version, because that was super dope. So maybe this will be the first one of my things that I sculpt that's a superhero. And the brushes I go to most on, you know, at this stage of sculpting are just the clay buildup, Damn Standard. I don't even really use the standard that much. It's really those two, and the H polish also when I want to do the planar stuff. I gotta be careful not to flatten out this back. Like it should feel curved the way that it, you know, kind of is. So I'll constantly go back and forth with H polish, clay buildup, H polish, clay buildup. Just trying to get the right kind of curvature of everything, and then, you know, and then worry about the actual forms, or not the actual forms, but the actual details of them later. I also try not to get married to anything too early, because there's a very good chance it's going to go away at some point. That's why I really don't care about my character when he's in a pose, right? When he's in the relaxed pose, it doesn't matter. After I pose them all, that's going to get resculpted, so it doesn't. It's like whatever. When I look back at the one I showed you guys earlier that had the poly painting on it, at the time I was happy with it, but I was like, yeah, it's a placeholder. So now what's important is to see the silhouette of the back. Let's see what that looks like. This thing, that thing, this thing, this thing. And that mirror kind of cut and paste of the hand that I did earlier. I mean, some of you guys who have been here for my other streams know that I would have just from scratch done that hand entirely the same way over again on the other side and wasted a lot of time. The good thing about having paid sculpting jobs, and I've just done a couple commissions, is they force you to figure out ways to cut corners as far as time is concerned. But obviously, you have to maintain the quality. So that was a trick that I used in my last little movie thing I worked on, and I'm like, why not do it for myself? All right, so that's that. Let's save the thing. Yes. Let's turn on dynamic perspective. Let's move this out of the way. All right, let's see. At this point in your career, do you find yourself still doing anatomy study sculpts, or do you learn enough from doing specific character pieces? Yeah, I don't. It's like everything I do is a learning experience. So I just did something for a client where I had the character was really thin, like thin but muscular. So I was looking online for reference, and I found some stuff, and I was having a hard time, and then I ended up going to the beach with my son, and I was like, this dude's got the perfect size for this. So I ended up using my son for reference. I was like, this is perfect, and he was like right in front of me the whole time. So you never know. But yeah, I'm constantly learning how how to get things better. And I think every piece you can see, you know, like it's 10,000 hours is a real thing. You know, the more time you spend doing something, the better you get. Ever used the smooth brushes under light box, like smooth directional? I have not. If there is a YouTube kind of walkthrough of that process, I would love to see it. Send me a link. DM me or something. Every time my sculpts I end up on the total gem. Total gem. Thanks, man. Thank you, Mike. Alright, so the thing I'm seeing about this guy now, he does look softer than before. That's interesting. I thought this was a little more... where's the original? Is this it? No, that's the old one. EP body. Okay, here we go. So let's do this solo. This is the new one. This is the old one. No, it's the same. Huh. I don't know. It just looks soft now, but that's cool because as long as everything is in the right position, I can go in and I can chisel them up. New. It's 3:07. I have one more hour. So before I do anything else, I think what I'd like to do at this point is just get a little bit of detail on this rock that he's standing on, since it's such a big part of it. The composition, you know, it's just him and the rock right now. So I hope I have my brushes. I had a hard drive die on me the other day and I had to get a replacement. I know I should have SSD. I didn't want to spend $1 billion on a SSD that was this big, but yeah, that had all of my brushes and stuff on there. So I'm going to see what I have. Let's see. 3D environmental artists, but I want to get back into characters. Yeah, man, absolutely. Where I can find IMM primitives. Go to the Pixelogic site, and they have a download. What is it? The ZBrush. It's not the classroom. They have an area on ZBrush on their main page that has downloads, and I believe they have primitives. It ships, if you have the newest version, it ships with a lot of IMM primitives and stuff. So I don't know why you would need to get extra, but they're all over. Alrighty then. Let's go to... Oh, you know what? Alright, let's see something. This would be fun. I'm going to open up the Hulk. I want to see the proportions. Stop it. Get out of here. Comma. So let's clear this. Save this. And load Hulk. ZBrush, Hulk standing. Hulk standing. Open. Wait. No, I'm not. All right. Exactly, thanks. Yeah. You can get that stuff all over. So, if you guys aren't familiar with my stuff, this is the level of detail that I want to get to with the Panther. This guy is big. He's a big one. Alright. And his back, actually, I'm going to use him as a reference. Why not? Got him here. Yes. Oh, didn't do it. No, stop. Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. It's there. And go back to the Black Panther. Come on now. I might need to update my GeForce driver. Mike Rock. That's funny. Turn off that. He looks puny compared to the Hulk. What did I do with all my reference? See something right here I don't like. So, yeah. Double. That's not what I wanted. Oh yeah, I do. I haven't done it in a while because I've been swamped with stuff. But my Twitch channel is it on here? It's Mike T2K, I think. Mike T. Yeah, there it is. Mike T2K. Yeah. So if you give me a follow, that'd be fantastic. I'm behind. Anybody that knows me knows that I have the best intentions, but I just stay busy, so I haven't had time. Gotta make that money, y'all. That's the thing. As a freelancer, it's feast or famine, and I've been fortunate enough to have a a pretty long run of, you know, working on two projects at once and just being, you know, being busy. No. You know what? I'm trying to figure out how to cut the Hulk. His arms are going to be problematic. I mean, I'll have to... I don't know. He's going to be massive, so I got to figure him out. I definitely want to print the Hulk, though. I'd like to have him in resin, but maybe what I'll do is I'll cast the parts so I can make copies. And then you know, mold the parts and then cast them and do resin copies. These 3D scans are really helpful too, because you get to see, I mean, you get to see the unpainted version of the, oh, take breaks frequently too. My hand's starting to cramp up. Unpainted version of the anatomy, which is invaluable. You know, once you start getting color involved, and it turns into a whole different thing. So it's good to see it in just gray. Oh, I got quiet. Sorry about that. Cast making stream would be sick. Yeah. You know, I've never done one yet. But I never printed a thing before either, and I did that, so maybe I'll do one. Good at muscles. I love this. This one thing. Oh, that'd be cool. Thanks, man. Yeah. Yeah. I really like how they made the Swamp Thing look in the DC show. Wish they could have finished it. That would have been nice. The new Titans looks dope. Very interested to see what they do with Superboy. See, what I'm noticing now is because I did the retopo, I'm able to get much cleaner lines when I'm sculpting than I could before, because I had it a lower, it was around the same polygon count, but the topology wasn't working, the edge flow wasn't working with the muscles. So now they are. That was kind of one of those things I learned from Shane Olson. Was he did a stream where he was working on one of his characters, and he sculpted in some nice deep lines with a damn standard brush, and then did a retopo, Z-remesh, and the Z-remesher followed the flow of all of those cuts. So like if I did something like this and I went and Z-remeshed it, it would try to match the topology with that, which is pretty sweet. So when you have it nice, then you don't have to have a really high poly count in order to maintain details. Save. Yes. Learning how to draw if I want to do work like this in ZBrush. Yeah, drawing's foundation. I mean, there are people who aren't really strong drawers or painters that are really good sculptors. But for me, I started with pencil, and then I moved to color, and then I eventually moved to digital, and then I moved to sculpture. And I honestly believe that they all stack and they all kind of work in service of each other discipline. It's almost like Kung Fu, right? You're learning different disciplines, and each one of them helps you out. So yeah, I think drawing helps everything, you know. For me, now that I know, you know, how to sculpt, when I paint, I have a much easier time kind of just visualizing in my head the way that light plays around surfaces, and especially muscles, the way that it wraps around, and so it's really useful in my illustration as well. If anybody wants to see my illustration work and they don't know, my site is MikeTArtworks.com, or no, sorry, .com, yeah, .com, yeah, totally. MikeTArtworks.com, or Mike Tartworks. After I bought the URL, I realized that that's what it says. So I also bake, and you know, you can look at my paintings and then buy some pastries. But yeah, I would suggest if anybody is a student and they want to be a digital sculptor, I would say, you know, you probably have to take drawing classes. I mean, I can only imagine that you would have to, but if you don't, do it on your own. And if you're I tell people who are painters all the time, you know, I got some really good friends. In fact, I had a friend named Brian Life, who I met back when I was working on G.I. Joe for Hasbro. And he was the guy to introduce me to ZBrush. Like, I tell people that all the time. We had a very similar background, like graffiti art and illustration, and then he got into that and used it for his reference. And I was like, dude, your stuff looks really good. How are you figuring out that lighting? And he told me he was making the jetpacks and stuff in ZBrush, and then he would go ahead and do a render, and he would use that as reference, and then he would paint. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna try that. And I did, and I've been stuck on ZBrush ever since. So I use it for work, right? But I also, like, this sculpting thing it's quickly becoming a passion of mine. So that's why when I can get paid to do it, that's a really good day. Just like if I get paid to paint superheroes, there's nothing wrong with that. I would do that all day, every day if I could and get paid. So I did some stuff for like Guardians and Civil War, early concept stuff, or package design stuff actually. And so yeah, when Marvel reaches out or DC or anything, I'm very happy that day, I can tell you. All right, how are we doing on time? 3:28, still doing pretty good on time. Okay, thank you. Do you charge a daily rate as a freelancer? Yeah, it's a sliding scale. I mean, it depends. For me, I don't normally do a daily rate. I normally do per project, and in that way, I'm not so hung up on the time I spend on it. I can spend extra time on a piece. If I'm going by the hour and I know that a thing is going to take me longer than I thought, I feel really kind of bad hitting a client up saying, oh, well, I'm going to need extra whatever because it took me longer. So I rarely do a daily rate. I think I just did my first one on a job just very recently. Don't crash. That's taking a long time. Please don't crash. There you go. I knew I'd have to circle back around to these clavicles. Like, I knew that was just going to be an issue. It's one of those things where I tend to do them more than I need to. Like, if I just kind of gotten them in the right spot in the first place, I could stop, but I end up going back, touching them over and over again until I get something that I'm pretty happy with. Let's go back to my Hulk for a second here. One thing I learned when I first started painting was, I always thought, I I guess I kind of always thought this, that using reference was not really cheating, but, you know, oh, well, I thought the best artists didn't need reference. And one thing one of my illustration instructors taught me in college was that that's just silly. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how good you are, your work is going to be better with reference. You know, because we all think we know what things look like, but you know, if you're looking at it, then you're not having to interpret, and you're not missing anything. So he did this thing that was kind of like a Mr. Miyagi type thing, where he was like, draw what you see, not what you think you see. I was like, man, that's some Bruce Lee stuff right there. But it was true. So I think my work got way better when I started, you know, putting my pride aside and actually looking at something and just kind of drawing and sculpting what was in front of me. The pecs are another thing that I kind of go back and forth on until I get the volumes right. That's, I don't know, for some reason it takes me a while to lock it in. But I'm glad I spend the time, because I used to rush through it and they would always be too small. Like, they just didn't look like they would support your, you know, your upper body. And so that's why I look at so many angles, so many different pictures, to just see how they kind of compress and stretch and stuff. My earlier stuff looked terrible. I was just like, I don't know what they look like. They're just like two C's, like two little C's, and then you're good to go, like on their side. Same thing with the abs, you know. I really think that having asymmetrical abs looks so realistic. So I see some of these things that they clearly are cookie cutter on both sides. They're just like a mirror of the other side. And when you look at people in real life, their body is like, it's asymmetrical. It really is, for the most part. Even your eyes aren't exactly the same. The position, anyway. Hey, I'm rambling. You guys want to ask me something? Favorite superhero? Enough said, bub. The Wolverine. I can't wait to see what Marvel does with them. I'm so excited that the X-Men are finally coming to the Marvel Universe, yo! It's gonna be so dope. And the Fantastic Four. How about a good Fantastic Four movie where they don't fight Doctor Doom for the billionth time? That'd be crazy, right? Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. It's a bummer. But look at it from the bright side. You finally get that Morbius movie everybody has been clamoring for. Okay, let's see what we got here. Can Hollywood pull off new Wolverine suit? Oh, Andy, it's coming. It's coming. Don't worry about it. Now that they got it in the right hands, Wolverine suit is gonna be crazy. All right, level details model before posing the final detail. So originally he looked like originally this was the level of detail I had. Let me get the light so it's not looking like he's in a scary movie. And turn off the color. So this is what I had, and you can see that it's loose, right? I just kind of scratched in the muscle forms. And this is all, like, I'm going to get back to this level of detail in the legs. Like, I was really happy with these legs, actually. So this is what I had as my, you know, starting point before I posed him. When I posed him, he got kind of wonky, and then he got soft, and now I'm building back up. But yeah, hitting this with a little bit of smooth would be like these legs would be done. So that's what I want for this guy. And you can see with the Hulk, like, this is a level of finish on the Hulk where I go in and do skin pores. Actually, this is not the final one. There's one where I have skin pores and super high frequency detail. But I mean, if I'm printing this Hulk on my filament printer, then it's done, basically, because it's not going to hold skin details on there. Like on a Form 3, maybe. Not maybe, it would hold it on a Form 3, but it's not going to hold it on filament. Yeah, Galactus. I've heard that that's the plan. I've heard Galactus is coming, especially with this Eternals movie they're getting out there. So they're talking about a real Galactus. That would be dope. Yeah, Stormcloud was ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Alright, what is that everything? Hands look sick, how they're massive, but at the same time you still fit the form and everything's... Oh, thank you. You talking about the Hulk? Thank you very much. How do you go about adding the micro detail model with this much geometry? Well, Black Panther now doesn't have a lot, so I couldn't do any micro detail. That Hulk there is divided up to maybe like 18 million polys. Not that one, but the one that has all this like really tight skin detail. Same thing with my trap jaw. Like, I divided that up, I think, to 14 million. And I was able to go in and get some serious like pores and skin texturing. How do you do it on a layer? You just make the layer, and then, in fact, Flip Normals, I just bought their new skin pack, which is amazing. I haven't had time to use it, but I saw them using it. Other than that, you can get XYZ textures and bring them in as alphas. You can use Mari if you are so inclined in Photoshop to tile them together. I usually use them as a stamp and just kind of pull them out in here. How did you have that ref board? Looks huge. It is. It's just every time I find a picture I like, I just drag it on and I save. So they get really big. They start, it's funny because for this one, let's see if I can make it so you can see everything. Yeah, I just keep adding pictures. So Ramel Chopra, I'm a friend of his, and I love his work. So I put down his Lobo, like easily the best Lobo I've ever seen, hands down. So I put his stuff on there, and then, but this started off. It's like that infinite canvas, right? This started off with just this area in here, like this square of images, and then I just kept adding and adding and adding until finally, like, you know, I got hands and this and that, until finally I got everything. And I'm not done. I'll keep adding to it, you know. Oh, I like those legs. I have ref that I've forgotten about. Let's put it that way. I have so much ref on my Pinterest page that I've collected, and so many things that I've, you know, bought packs over the years from like 3ds. Oops, sorry. That I'll do a job and be like, man, I wish I had this thing, and then months later I'll be going through my reference and I'll be like, oh, that's exactly what I needed. So, yeah. His legs got crazy soft. Let's take care of that, shall we? Solo. And because this is so loose right now, I don't even mind that, you know, I'm doing this without layers. There's nothing here that I can afford to not lose, you know. Can't afford to lose. Yeah. Yeah. If I lose anything, I'm not going to be upset. That being said, I hope I don't crash. At this point, it's just a study. Like you, I mean, somebody was asking me earlier, do I do studies? This is right now, this is an anatomy study for a character that I need to do for a client. When I start to dial it in, that's when it gets real. Trap jaw, that's right. Life is a study. Life is a study. That is right. I have a cool mustache. Thank you. I wax it at night. Twisty ends. Normal map? I could, but I'm not really... That's not really my thing. I barely use UVs. I mean, I use UVs for texturing, and that's it. So I'm not really the guy to ask about normal maps. Way more qualified people than me. In fact, I'm sure that there's a Ask, what is it, Ask ZBrush. Did I say Axe? There's an Axe ZBrush where you can, where I'm sure Joe will run that down for you. And if not, you just ask him. Just ask him. He'll take care of it. Hey Joe, make a normal map in ZBrush, please. He'll totally do it. Now I want them to rename that to Axe ZBrush. I think it would get more page views, more views. Kyle, if you're in here, tell Joe, Axe ZBrush. That's the other thing about doing muscles. I mean, you might start getting the muscle to look right, but then your volumes will be too huge, you know. So, unless you're doing like a giant muscle guy, then you want to keep an eye on that. I'll tell you, this thing I just sculpted is he was lean. He had like some, you know, lean muscle, and that was fantastic for reference. Like, I'm gonna lean into that going forward, just looking at it, because it's always easy to bulk a guy up, but to make him look lean like that and not look like an écorché, like he still had the right fatty deposits and things like that, but it was far less than these, you know, these competition bodybuilders. That was a fun sculpt, actually. Whoa, okay, I have 6 more minutes, so if you guys have anything you want to ask me, please ask. I'll be happy to answer. Next month, I might be able to get one of these in before I leave, but I will be traveling abroad. And if you're so inclined, come check me out. I would love to meet you. Yeah, thanks, man. Most overrated movie. Most overrated to me, the most overrated movie. I want to say it, but I don't want to get hate. I definitely want to say it. Tony Leonard knows what I'm going to say. But I don't want to say it out loud. You should DM me and I'll tell you. Nope. Older. Nope. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm going to say it. Blade Runner. First Blade Runner. Most overrated movie in my opinion. Opened a lot of doors, but you know what? It's a little boring. Kind of boring. Fell asleep every time I watch it. Gotta say it. It's a whole lot of Blade Runner people that come after me, like send ninjas and stuff. Tony Leonard's not trying to hear that. But gotta be real with you. Savage. I go hard, man. I go hard in here. Have to. Yes, that looks crazy. I want to see what Kevin Smith does with that, man. That's crazy. Gives you the skin pores and all the details on the layers. Bake them in. Yes, that's exactly what I would do. The skin pores, the texturing for the clothing, that's going to be on a layer. And then when I'm happy, I bake it. Like by that time, it's high stakes. I don't want to commit to it too early in case I need to make any changes. So yes, those textures go on a layer every time. All right, so let's see what we have. That's a little better. It's getting there. It's getting there. Got work to do, but it's getting there. Okay, those forearms are looking kind of janky right now, but I'll circle back to them at some point. So let's do a couple of screenshots for the YouTube page real quick. Move this over here. Oops, move that there. Have I seen The Boys? I binged it day one. Come on, you know who I am. It was really good. I've been waiting for The Boys for a long time, and I was not disappointed at all. Thought it was really good. What'd you think? It's not about He-Man, it's more about Tila, which is why Master Universe is not He-Man, Master Universe. It's why it's Masters of the Universe, not He-Man. He-Man, Master of the Universe. Wait, the Kevin Smith thing is going to be more about Tila? Hope that's not right. It's funny because this screen grab is almost exactly the same as the other. All right, I'll keep cooking this and do another one. But it's getting there. It's getting there, you guys. Let's make a big face. And we got nails now. All right. That's the shot right there. So everybody, thanks for coming by and hanging with me. If you stayed the whole 3 hours, then, you know, really thank you. And I will see you next time. I think I can get one in before I leave. If not, I will talk to you when I get back from South America. And I'm really happy you guys stopped by. All right, so Wakanda forever. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. It's not stopping.